What's up, everybody? I'm Mckenty. This is my second channel, and this is your home for my Twitch highlights and my podcast. So if you like this and you want to see more of that and you want to join the live streams, there's a link to that in the description of this video. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. You have probably heard about Olivia Rodrigo before on my channel or somewhere else. She is massive, super popular. You know, I've said that she's one of the people bringing alternative rock back into the mainstream, generally supportive of her. But there's been quite a bit of controversy around her, specifically that she has supposedly ripped off Misery Business in her song Good For You. Let's just listen to this. You guys can just see why people are suggesting that these songs are so similar.
Remember when you said that you wanted to give me the world? I waited 8 long months, she finally set him free. I told him.
As far as I'm aware, so far, Paramore and Hayley haven't said anything. But what I just saw in the news here is that Paramore, specifically Hayley and Josh, I think, have been added to the songwriting credits for this song. Olivia Rodrigo has retroactively added 2 members of Paramore to the writing credits for her hit single Good For You, the second time she's made such a revision for songs from her blockbuster debut album, Sour. Yes, this is actually the second time this has happened. As it says here, she has previously added Taylor Swift and co-writers to the credits for her song Deja Vu. Swift and co-writers were credited on Rodrigo's One Step Forward, Three Steps Back at the time of its release. This is the Taylor song, obviously. Retroactively added songwriting credits have become increasingly common in recent years as intellectual property lawsuits involving music have become more forensic and yet less predictable. Robin Thicke and Pharrell's Blurred Lines, and even Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven. I thought it might be worth looking at these two so we can sort of see what's happening here. That basically, in the past, if you actually copied someone's lyrics or melody, they could sue you, and I would say for good reason. But now, especially after the Blurred Lines thing, you don't even have to copy them outright. You just have to be sufficiently derivative of like the vibe. They will sue you for stealing the vibe. The estate of Marvin Gaye sued them, saying that it was a ripoff of Gotta Give It Up, and they won. This is Blurred Lines. That was Blurred Lines. This is the Marvin Gaye song. Finn, I'm going to start stealing the vibe of your stream and start my own streaming career. What are you going to do about it? See you in court, motherfucker. That's what I'm going to do about it. I kind of agree here. Smooth22, it seems like the more popular legacy artist generally wins these kind of lawsuits no matter what side they're on. It does feel like that. It's not exactly true, though, because there's also the Katy Perry Dark Horse thing. She was sued by this Christian rapper named Flame.
Died at 33, but after days reappeared. Jesus Christ said,
You were gonna come to me. Here you are.
Note that they even had to modify the pitch and the speed to make them line up. Katy Perry actually did get this overturned last year. In films, for example, there are things called scenes affaire, like a magician pulling a rabbit out of a hat. A judge doesn't need to be an expert to know that's not copyrightable. This idea of scenes affaire, I think, was important because there's so many of these things in music that are so they're such basic ideas that how can you really protect them? Like a shredding guitar solo or something like that. And to me, this is kind of the most important part of this whole discussion. Let's talk about what the implications of this could be, because I think they're concerning. For one, if you're a young artist who kind of pops up and gets some success, you should be worried that everyone's going to be coming for you. That every legacy artist is going to be like, oh, that kind of sounds like my shit. Or not even a legacy artist. It could even just be this nobody Christian. I mean, I guess he's a nobody Christian rapper. It could just be like this random Christian rapper that came for Katy Perry. Basically, if you have any success, you've got a fucking target on your back. It's great that Katy Perry won this lawsuit. I'm glad she did. But that's Katy Perry. She has enough money to fight anybody in court. The fact that Katy Perry won is good for Katy Perry, but it doesn't mean that much for a smaller artist. You know, Olivia Rodrigo is probably big enough too that she could fight it, but you see my point. Imagine if this starts happening in metal. Imagine if Iron Maiden starts coming after everybody who does the like harmonized dueling guitar lead type thing that fucking everybody has done.
He's singing about violence and shooting each other with muskets on a battlefield.
Imagine if Meshuggah started coming after everyone in the gent scene. You know, imagine if Meshuggah came for Car Bomb. Imagine if Architects came for everybody in the metalcore scene, if Linkin Park came for everybody in metalcore. The sort of larger question here is, what world do we want to live in? Do we want to live in a world where people with a lot of money and power sue the shit out of every new creator that comes along? No. We want to live in a system, and we want to live in a society and create a system that rewards people for creating shit. We don't want people to just be able to come along and take a fucking piece out of everybody who comes along and gets anybody any success. Olivia Rodrigo, congratulations on getting 1 billion streams in like 6 months. I'll take that money. I think that's bullshit. I mean, this has happened to her twice. I have no idea. I am completely speculating here. It seems like she's maybe rolling over on this, whereas, I think she would have every right to be like, fuck you, see you in court. Like, that's what I wish she would say. I mean, I think Paramore's awesome. I don't like Taylor Swift very much as a person. She seems really petty. I'm disappointed that Paramore would do this. I understand that their publisher probably plays a role here, but still, at some point, Hayley had to sign some sort of an agreement, meaning a contract that said that she wanted to be added to the songwriting credits for that, and I wouldn't do it if I was her. And the reason I'm coming down on her a little bit is because I expect this from Taylor Swift, because she seems like a very entitled, self-centered person that will just take any opportunity she can to stop someone's bag and just sort of make it all about her. So it doesn't surprise me that Taylor Swift is doing that. I think it's lame too, but I have lower expectations than I do for Hayley. I would put out a statement saying, just so you guys know, like, we don't have anything to do with this. This is our publisher and their lawyers. I think it sucks. For the record, I don't support this, but it's out of our hands. If that was the case, she should say it. What if Blink comes after every fucking current new pop punk artist for essentially appropriating their entire fucking vibe and sound and style? Because they are. I mean, we all know MGK and Jaden and every fucking artist that Travis is involved with, the people that want to be working with him, they're all ripping Blink 182 off, right? Where do we go with this? I mean, there's so many fucking songs out there. What if Spotify uploads like 60,000 new songs a month or some shit? What do you think the odds are that the stuff you came up with yesterday, that somebody else already did something very similar to it before? I would say the odds are pretty fucking high. How many Jason Statham movies are there where he is the tough guy that doesn't talk too much, that drives real fast and punches people when they get in his face? Should Jason Statham sue himself?